Boxing King Media, powered by BYD. Frank Smith, always a pleasure seeing you, sir. How's things? You got a little drip can of water there. How's things?
What is BYD?
It's Build Your Dreams. It's an electric car company which are making their mark. They're actually a sponsor for the Euros. Shows how big they are becoming. They're in a fair few markets. They are looking to put their foothold on the UK market. So yeah, it's an electric car company. You should check it out, Frank.
Like a Tesla, but better.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
There you go.
There we go. And that's the.
You didn't want to have to say whether it was better than a Tesla, but I think it's better than a Tesla.
I appreciate that, Frank. Frank, let's talk about why we're here. Fisher versus Babic. I do want to talk about Johnny Fisher. Known him since he started, obviously, the matchroom journey. He's always been that ticket seller that people know him for. But do you feel like this fight is going to show that he's just more than a ticket seller? That Babic is awkward. He's not the most prettiest fighter and can put you through a bit of hell through fights. Do you feel like this is the fight for Johnny Fisher?
Yeah, look, I think it's a brilliant fight for Johnny Fisher. I think, many years ago, people would have looked at, like you say, Johnny Fisher and said he's just going to be a ticket seller. But he's coming on so much, he's improving, and I think he's got a massive future. Alan Babic is a perfect opponent for him right now. He's going to give him a tough night, but I think Johnny Fisher's going to go in there and do the job. We've seen Alan Babic; his only loss came for that Bridgerweight world title. And I think it's a great fight for him. It's a huge night as well. We're going to have a packed out arena in there. We've got the football on as well. But yeah, perfect fight for Johnny Fisher. And again, like I say, it's going to show that he's not just a ticket seller. He's here to stay.
How important is it that, whilst Johnny has got this name of being the ticket seller, that as a promotional company, you do want him to progress, and he has done that. He's obviously become Southern Area champion. He's fighting a level up in Alan Babic, that the progression doesn't stop at a certain level, that you do want to progress with him over the next couple of years. Yeah,
100%. We want to keep progressing him. Yeah, this is just another step in the journey of Johnny Fisher. And a step up as well in quality going in against Alan Babic. So 100% that's the plan. We're going to keep building, keep him busy as well. But he's shown a lot of improvement, and I think he's got a lot more to give.
I do want to sort of talk about other heavyweights. We know that Johnny's, sparred Dubois, and he's been out recently talking about the whole AJ Dubois thing, which everyone's going to ask him about. I do want to talk about that. Thomas House is someone that, you guys are very familiar with in the past. I said, listen, there's no real champion here. Usyk's the real champion. Him getting stripped means that, whether AJ wins or Dubois wins, there's going to be no champion in September. What do you make of that comment?
Well, how often does it happen in the sport that belts have been vacated, have been stripped, and people fight for vacant belts? I think it's a great fight. It'd be different if it was, Anthony Joshua against a name no one's ever heard of, and there's no chat. This is a tough fight. We all know what Daniel Dubois brings. He's got a great win against Filip Hrgovic, who should have had an opportunity to challenge for the world title many moons ago, really. But I think it's a great fight, and I don't think that it being a vacant title takes anything away from it. AJ's still going to have his dreams of becoming undisputed, and eventually that will probably lead to Alexander Usyk. But he's got the Tyson Fury fight as well coming up in December. So, Thomas House is just not a big fan for whatever reason of Anthony Joshua. You've seen the things he said. He said a year or two ago that he should retire. So take it with a pinch of salt what Thomas House says.
With Anthony Joshua and Daniel Dubois, you've invested all your time with Anthony Joshua since he turned pro. Frank's done the same with Dubois. Do the gloves come off for Frank and Eddie? I know they've been best mates recently, but listen, these fighters are the fighters that they sort of helped them grow their businesses, grow Matchroom and Queensbury Promotions likewise. Do you feel like the rivalry might pick up for this one?
Yeah, look, a bit like with the 5v5, we want our man to win. Anthony Joshua, as you say, he's more like a friend and family because of the time we spent with him. I've grown up with him since I was 20 years old or whatever. So, there's a close bond there, and we'll do everything we can, and that we believe he's going to go in there and get a massive win in stylish fashion, just as he has been doing over the last year or so. But yeah, I'm sure the rivalry might not be the rivalry of it wasn't really a rivalry before. It was more just a lot of shit said on these interviews. So it wasn't so much the rivalry. It doesn't take away from the rivalry in terms of, but it doesn't mean you have to say things about each other that maybe you don't mean or you don't. Does that make sense? But the rivalry's there. We want Anthony Joshua to win, and we want Matchroom to win. We're 5-0 down at the minute, or 10-0 down, or whatever you want to call it.
Fair enough. I do want to talk about probably one of the biggest talking points of boxing this week in regards to Anthony Joshua and FROCH. I do want to ask you, where does this all stem from? Is it to do with maybe a Rob McCracken? They both shared Robert McCracken. We know that Carl Froch called him a father figure. AJ's left him. Could that be where this all stemmed from?
I don't know. Look, I got asked the question the other day. Anthony Joshua, like I say, although had a great relationship with Carl Froch when we worked together, Anthony Joshua is very different. You know, we've done it, what he's done for the sport, and the relationship we've got is a very different relationship. I think I said my view the other day. I think Carl Froch is jealous of Anthony Joshua. And people will say, why would he be jealous? He got loads of money, but you know, he's Anthony Joshua. You don't have to look at what he's done in his career. It's just my opinion. And people talking about, you know, someone said it's a bit like the rift between Eddie and Frank. Can it be repaired? I'm like, but these guys actually knew each other or know each other. Do you know what I mean? Like, we didn't know each other. It was just a lot of things said without actually having any personal relationship. These guys knew each other. They spent a lot of time around each other, and they're different personalities. They're very different personalities, you know. And sometimes not all personalities are going to get on. It's the truth of the matter, you know. And I don't know. It's not for me to talk about whether they're going to come to an agreement and be happy with each other. It doesn't involve me. But that's my view on the matter.
Prince Nassim was actually asked this, and he said it's a little bit childish. They should have just get along, you know, both. One's
But not everyone in life's going to get on. That's the reality of it. And, you know, you can't change someone's view or on an individual if they're set in their ways. So, you know, you can't just say, well, I should just get on, because there's loads of people who don't get along and will never get along. Doesn't mean you have to talk about someone constantly, but that's kind of where we are with it.
Yeah, fair enough. I do think he said that there should be no bad feelings between them, and you know, they're both fighters and whatever. But anyway, he sort of made that point as well. Do you want to talk about his son actually signing for Misfits? What do you make of that? Misfits seem to be sort of dipping their toes into a few professional fighters. What do you make of that?
Yeah, look, we all know the personality of Prince Nassim Hamid, and his sons have definitely got it. You know, Sammy and Adam. Sammy signed with Misfits, isn't it? Yeah. So Adam signed with Queensberry, obviously. And I think it will make a lot of sense for him. You know, and there's going to be big fights out there. He's going to make a lot of money. You know, because he's a personality. He looks good. So yeah, best of luck to him. And yeah, I've seen Misfits doing a bit more within that space. You know, with certain fighters. So maybe they're changing their direction a little bit.
Talking about Queensberry, actually, they've actually dipping their toes again with American fighters. Are they looking to sort of break into that market, or what do you know?
I don't know. I saw, yeah, like you say, they signed Brandon Lee, they signed Nathan Lugo. But yeah, maybe that's something they're looking to do longer term. There's obviously a lot going on in Saudi Arabia as well, and big fights to be made. So maybe part of that plan, but I can't speak on their behalf. But you know, look, good times for the sport of boxing, and you know, the market's just getting bigger and bigger.
Well, fans, before I let you go, Manny Pacquiao has been sort of endorsed by WBC to fight for the WBC title against Mario Barrios. It's left a bit of a mixed reaction because he's been at the ring for like 3 years. What do you make of this? Just
like when we were talking about Manny Pacquiao against Conor Benn, you know, so I can't really have an opinion and say anything different because we've said about doing Manny Pacquiao Conor Benn. You know, I'm not surprised it's a fight. Of course it's a fight they sanction. Manny Pacquiao is one of the biggest stars of the sport in the present day, whether he's retired, around or not. You know, he's very fit, he's stayed active and in the gym, so you know, good luck to him. What about if he went and beat him? Be impressive.
Would be. Frank Smith, there is a queue for me behind me now, so I have started off a queue. Good luck with everything. I do blame myself, yeah. But you're going to have to go through the pain, so that's all good. Frank Smith, always a pleasure, mate. Thank you very much for talking to Boxing King Media. Speak to you soon.
Cheers, mate. Good to see you.